Hello, my lovelies. I'm Ginny O, the author with no last name, and today we're going to talk about social media for authors or for artists or any creative endeavor that you're doing. Um, I have been around the internet for a very long time, and if you have been around the internet for a very long time and know the deep magic because you were there when it was created, this video might not be for you. Or maybe you just want to see how other creatives are doing things, as I will have some examples towards the end. But this is a video if you are interested in, you're a writer and you're interested in doing social media and how do you go about it and, what things not to do. Because I have done the do not do this type of thing. I have screwed up my SEO so well that it's probably impossible for me to get it back, type of thing. But that is okay. Alright. Before you start social media and you choose like a name or anything that you're going to be doing this under, please think about what your goal is when you're making this social media account. Is this like a personal account where you're going to be talking about your life and showing off pictures of your cats? That's great. That's probably not going to get you readers. But if that's the type of account you want to do, just talk about whatever you're interested in. You show off pictures of your pets or your neighborhood, maybe like flowers or whatever. That's fine. That's personal account. It's not any type of marketing. Okay. Do be aware that even if you are a traditional author at this point, you are going to be doing a lot of your own marketing. So you're going to want to have a social media account that is geared towards marketing yourself and, by the way, your book. So if you have a personal social media account that's like your real name or whatever, that's your personal account. You might want to change it to some sort of pseudonym or something uh, in case you're going to publish under your real name, because, you might want to have a fresh SEO when you start, just search engine optimization. So just be aware what you're trying to do. Now, because I have messed up my search engine optimization under Ginny O and Ginny Zero so much by doing a whole bunch of stuff about Star Stable and doing writing advice, I just treat my social media like this as fireside chats. I just talk about things I like to talk about. And, I'll mention my books from time to time, but I don't really try to soft sell them. I don't even do the whole to like and subscribe type of thing anymore, call to action, because if you like my content, surely by now you know how to hit the like button and press the subscribe. But, other channels who really want to be influencers or whatever, they're always like, subscribe, here's my Patreon, here, donate to my coffee, here's my coffee people type of thing. And that's great. It's just I don't want my social media to be like that. Okay, so I'm just doing a fireside chat here to go, this is what works and this is kind of what doesn't. So we have some things we need to keep in mind. The internet is forever. Once you put something out there, it is forever. You're going, but I can delete it. No, that is not what you want to do. You need to learn to stand behind what you say and understand whatever you say is going to be screenshot and distributed everywhere. Stuff from Tumblr ends up on Reddit, stuff on Twitter ends up on Tumblr. It's forever. And this means if you use bigoted language, homophobic language, transphobic language, racist language, people are going to find out who you really are really fast. If you use misogynistic language, they're gonna find out who you are. And this is just not strangers on the internet. This is your family. And if you are older, this is going to be your kids and your grandkids. And believe me, they will be watching. They will want to know what you think. And you are not as anonymous as you think you are out here on the internet. I have determined people are the same people by the way they type. People don't realize that they have typing anachronisms, or one of those words you see read in a book, but you don't really know how to pronounce it. Idiosyncrasies, they have typing idiosyncrasies. They have, or they'll be like, oh, I have, 3 different names, but they use the same personal information under those 3 different names. It's just like, hi, that's you. I know it's you. You might want to change that. If you're trying to hide, So, people will figure out it's you even if you're on different platforms under different names. So, just um, my rule of thumb is if I wouldn't say it to my grandmother, I don't say it out here on the internet. My grandmother is a very feisty lady who, you know, speaks her mind. So, there's not a lot I can't get away with. But like, I do my best not to use any kind of racist, homophobic, misogynistic type of speech, and I do my best not to be able-bodied or use ableism or type of stuff, and try to embrace neurodivergent as well. And it is not easy, and I know I don't always succeed. So just so you know, like, you're gonna have to set rules for yourself. Like, it's just like when you're writing your book and you come across, you have to decide what rules of description are you going to be using, with people of color in particular. I eventually just settled on brown. Just like, seems the least uh, controversial. Brown. um, so the internet is forever, and deleting things is not going to make it go away. People are going to figure out who you are because you're not as anonymous as you think you are. Okay, and the internet also thrives on negativity, and I would like to say that this is just people being people, but it's not. It's the algorithms. The internet is literally programmed to thrive on negativity. Just, if you are going to rip a book apart like Lightlark, and you decide to do a video about Lightlark ripping it apart, you are going to get more views on that video than you would get for a video praising it to the high heavens. Okay, so if you're going to be doing book reviews, just be aware that your negative book reviews are going to be the things that feed the algorithm, and people are going to come for you to hear your shady, snarky comments, and you're going to have to figure out how to sneak positive reviews into your book reviews, as alternatives to these type of books, I guess, to try to get the people that you want read out there, you know, on the into the book space. But the thing is, then when you're being, you're feeding the algorithm, being negative and being snarky, you're gonna get the people who accuse you, like, do you hate everything you read? And because they really don't understand that the internet thrives on this negativity. Twitter does, YouTube does. I'm not sure so much about TikTok, but those two in specific, which is where a lot of authors hang out, thrive on being negative spaces. So when I do my Booktober reviews of 5-6 books per video, and they're all positive reviews, I get less than 25 views on them because I'm not sitting here deciding to review Priory of an Orange Tree because to explain why I didn't like it, or I didn't take out Trader Brew Cormorant and do a whole snarky video about, hey, this is a first draft that got published. Woo! Very well written first draft, and I see why it got published, but I I mean, if I had done that video on its own, I probably would have gotten lots of views for it. Okay, so it thrives on negativity. That doesn't mean you want to be like racist, homophobic, transphobic, misogynistic type of negativity, but like the snarky negativity is better than being, you know, an awful person. Because we don't want awful people. We don't like awful people. we like snarky stuff, but we, you know, negative movie reviews and things like that. But we don't want, you know, mean people, cruel people. How about that? Okay. Another thing, if you constantly delete stuff around here on the internet, like you're constantly taking your ball and going home and then creating a new account, and you lose your credibility. Because there's now so many bots and so many spam and, you know, bots that sound like people now, people really do rely on how long has this person been around? Do they have other, do they have like a website? Do they have other social media things? Are they using their actual face or are they using just their voice? They really are going to rely on that type of thing to know whether or not you're a real person. So if you keep taking your ball and going home because you can't stand arguments or negativity on the internet, you're going to lose all your credibility. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. This is, again, learn to stand by what you say and type of thing. Because this is one of the things I've learned to do is if I am really angry at the internet, I have learned to step away and find my sense of humor about the situation. If you cannot step away from the internet and for like 3 or 4 days and find the absurd in what's going on, don't start. I do mean that. Don't start. If you have to pick a fight with everybody in your comments, don't start. Right now, because I'm still under 500 people and I only get 2 or 3 comments per video, if that, I can still interact with people on my videos. But if you get big, if you have 5,000, 10,000 followers, and you are getting hundreds of comments on your videos, you can no longer interact with them. And you're not going to have time to interact with every single one of them. And those comments can still make you really angry. Like, you know, I've seen bigger YouTubers, like, they are trying their best to make, but they're making a video and you can tell somebody in the comments pissed me off. Now I have to make a video about it because they are idiots and I have to explain this to everyone without calling them idiots. Okay, so learn that it's more often that instead of replying to comments, that there might be other people out there on the internet that have the same questions. So it's more likely you're going to make an entire video responding to a comment rather than getting into fights in the comments themselves, right? You don't want to do that. It's just, I mean, the XKCD cartoon of I can't go to bed, somebody is wrong on the internet is funny, but you need to go to bed. You need to walk away. You need to, like, let your brain let it go. Find somebody in your real life or in your online support network to, like, talk the whole situation over with until you can find the absurd in it, and then come back and, you know, a lot of times by then the person is just gone. And I don't mean that, God. You know, another thing I've noticed with people who are not used to using the internet is because people know that I'm on multiple platforms, they're very comfortable with coming at me on multiple platforms. And most of the times I allow it because if I can tell that they don't know what's going on with the internet, they have no idea. Like, but this is bad etiquette. It's actually really creepy. I mean, as an author, my stuff is out there. I mean, people can find me on Tumblr, Ginny Zero. My website is also Ginny the number 0. I did my website first and then didn't did my other stuff afterwards, and it was like, oh, websites. I can't get the same name exactly spelled the same way everywhere, like I want to. But don't take it cross-platform. If you're having an argument on YouTube, stay on YouTube. If you're having an argument in Tumblr, stay on Tumblr. Don't follow them to their email, don't follow them to Twitter, don't follow them to Reddit. If you're having an argument on Reddit, do not follow them to Tumblr. It's creepy. It's like you're stalking them. And people leave these spaces to get away from that argument. And they do not require, or they are not required to keep arguing with you, okay? Or whatever, or keep talking with you, especially on a different platform. In fact, if they block you, you deserve it at that point, okay? Me, most of the time I know that these are people, the people who are coming to me are people who do not really use these social media platforms very often. They have no idea what they're doing. So, you know, they don't know that this is bad etiquette. They just know that, oh, I was talking to her on YouTube. She has a Tumblr. Let me go DM her on Tumblr. And I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that because, you know, YouTube doesn't have really a DMing system better than you DMing me on Tumblr than sending me an email, you know, like type of thing. So, that's that. So those are just some things to keep in mind. The internet is forever. The internet runs on negativity. You know, it's not anonymous as you think it is. You know, deleting things and coming back is just going to ruin your credibility. And learn to walk away. If you cannot learn to walk away, you are not ready for this. Because you are going to be the type of person who are going to be picking fights with reviewers and have videos made about them, about authors behaving badly. And you don't want that. Believe me, you do not want that. Alright, so when it comes to social media, you need to, first off, we're at 17 minutes in, and I really want to give you one piece of advice before we stop, and I'm going to do a part 2, I guess. I don't want to get this beyond 20 minutes. But when it doesn't come to social media, one of the very important things you need to do is you need to choose a name. You need to choose one name, and you're going to be keeping this name. This is your username, and you need to keep it the same across all platforms. I don't care if you're on Facebook, I don't care if you're on Instagram or using Threads or Twitter or Tumblr or you're on TikTok. Try to choose one name. And this needs to be your author name or your pseudonym, not something related to your book. Patricia Briggs didn't do this correctly, so don't worry, you're not alone. The first time that she was doing her website, she has changed it since then. Originally, when she did her website, it was titled, it was Hurog, and Hurog is a setting in one of her fantasy duologies, and she was really trying to sell those duologies at the time, so she thought Hurog would be a great website. Well, what she forgot was she has a whole bunch of other books in her. She had her Raven series, and then she also ended up writing urban fantasy, her Mercedes Thompson series. And you are not one book, okay? You are not one idea. So centering your username around one idea is not going to be helpful in the long run. Patricia Briggs did eventually change her website to Patricia Briggs. I might have her middle initial in it too, but she did change it to her name eventually. I think she had to wait for the domain name, what she was paying for, to run out, and then she bought a new one and changed everything over, and we did it. Paying for domain names is, you know, something that I don't have the money for usually, so I just have ginny0.wordpress.com, which, I mean, people are like, ugh, who's probably like, oh, Ginny, you need to do ginny0.com, and like, yes, and if I did that, it would be Ginny, GINNYZERO.com, not Ginny, the number 0.com, but, like, the thing is, just choose a pseudonym or choose your real name. And remember that once you start marketing a book, your social media is no longer a personal social media. It's a marketing business social media. Uh, Now, the person who got in trouble with this one is not an author. She was a wedding dress designer, Haley Page. So she had her wedding dress designs, her company, owned by JLM out there in Los Angeles, registered under, trademarked under Haley Page. And so her Instagram, Haley Page, she had a Twitter that she barely used, was for Haley Page. All of that was marketing for the wedding gowns. And she decided a couple years ago, like last year, year before, she wanted to become an influencer. So she started selling diamond rings, and they were like, oh, okay, that's fine. But she also wanted to start like selling alcohol and stuff on the Haley Page account. And JLM was like, had to yank her back and say, no, you can do the little videos with the diamond rings and then do the little videos that you're doing about your dresses and stuff, but you can't be selling alcohol and all this other stuff on the Haley Page account. The Haley Page account is a business account. And she got kind of pissy, and she decided she no longer wanted to work for JLM. But she also didn't have the money to buy her own business back, basically. And JLM was like, fine, you don't think you're being paid enough money, we'll let your contract's coming up, we'll just find somebody to take over the design of your place. And then she found out that the Haley Page social media accounts went with the business. They weren't her personal accounts. And she had another Instagram account, Glitter and something. And she was just like, I can't do business under my own name. I can't start a runway line, a ready-to-wear line under my own name. And she even took it to court, and the judge was like, I knew this was going to happen. She went to Cornell here when I was working for my dad, but I was like, did they not teach you about trademarking in there? But like, the judge was like, no, you signed the contract, you willingly did this, they bought the trademarks for you, unless you're going to be buying the trademarks yourself, which is like anywhere from 5 to 10 grand now. You're stuck. You don't own the trademark to your own name. And she was really upset about it. So just be aware that, once you decide to start selling stuff under your name, it's a business. It's part of your business. It's not your personal stuff anymore. So choose something that you're okay with, if it's your name or whatever. I'm going to be doing this whole special video about Tumblr because Tumblr is different. But for most social media accounts like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, you're going to be using whatever type of pseudonym or name that you're going to be publishing under, because that's how people are going to find you. All right. I use Ginny O here. On Twitter, I use Ginny Zero. On Tumblr, I use Ginny Zero. I was Ginny Zero on Facebook, and I still have it, but I don't use it. I was Ginny period Zero on Instagram, which I also don't use, but I have it just in case I ever want to. I don't use Threads, and I'm definitely not on TikTok. So, but I have examples of. So next time we're going to head into some examples of authors social mediating and how they did it versus how confusingly I did it. But take care of yourselves, my lovelies. Bless, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next